Hello, today is Friday, November 7th, and we just witnessed last night what Thursday Night Football is. And what it is just a bad product of football. It's teams coming in unprepared without time to really get ready. Just like from the logistics of it, think of it like this. Okay, you've got Sunday. You're prepping, Sunday game, Monday off day, Tuesday prep, Wednesday walkthroughs, Thursday game. So you're getting like 1 day of practice, but then you're forcing guys into it on Monday, really, and it's just bad. Thursday Night Football is, yes, it's great from like a money-making standpoint and like another national television game, but it just sucks for the players, it sucks for the teams, and the output really isn't that great, and that's exactly what we saw last night. 10-7 final score. 10-7. So that's Thursday Night Football, and no really electric performances. Like the only guys with over 10 points were the 2 touchdown scorers. And then when you look at like the quarterbacks, you had 5 and 4. Just bad football. It's not great for the game, Thursday Night Football. And that's a discussion that's been happening for a while now, but last night I think is just a prime example of Thursday Night Football is not great. It has put out some good versions, but still, it's just not great for the players. It's not a great product. It's a big cause for injury, and it's just a lot of issues arise from Thursday Night Football. So that's just what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to really take a look at that, and just talk about how bad it is, like how bad Thursday Night Football can be. So let's take a look here at the Week 10 fantasy rankings. Let's go to NFL.com, see what they've got for the flex options. Perfect. I love this. Adam Rank is a great writer at NFL.com as well. So let's start at the top. Falcons in Berlin. Now, for the Colts, Jonathan Taylor at number 1. Playing overseas does pose some issues, but I don't think it's gonna hurt too much for the run game, especially. I mean, you've got the two of the top guys. I'd say the 2 top guys right now. I think McCaffrey and Bijan you can switch going head to head. So that's just going to be a really, really fun game to watch. And of course, you're going to continue to see Daniel Jones, see if they can bounce back off that loss they had last week. And then all the weapons in that Falcons offense. Drake London had a great game last week. I'm surprised he's not a little bit higher up on these rankings, all the way down here at 20, behind Jalen Waddle, McBride, a lot of guys. But yeah, that should be a fun game. I'm interested what time that is. Puka as the wide receiver number 1, which is absolutely justified. He is a monster when he's on the field and healthy. One of the best big volume target guys. It's just he gets hurt, but also that's a testament to how physical he plays. So we've got Puka at the wide receiver 1 spot. Then we've got Jackson Smith-Njigba right behind him, who is the NFL's wide receiving yards leader. Stud. Him and Egbuka, man. They are very similar, and I love seeing the comparisons between their game, and they're both going to have great long careers. I'm happy that Sam Darnold's able to have a guy like Jackson Smith-Njigba to really just throw the ball to and rely on. So Jackson Smith-Njigba is our wide receiver 2. Then we've got 4 more running backs, Gibbs, Achane, Henry, and Jacobs, before we see Amon-Ra St. Brown as our wide receiver 3. And interesting note here. Expecting a bounce-back game from Jahmyr Gibbs. That Vikings interior line played incredible, probably the best game of the year. Finally played how they're being paid, with Hargrave and Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, and then Jalen Redmond, of course, tearing it up in there. Great undrafted XFL guy. So I'm interested to see how Derrick Henry plays against them. Let's see if that Vikings interior O-line can keep it up, or if Derrick Henry does what Derrick Henry does. And of course, they've got Lamar Jackson back now, so that changes things as well. But we'll see. I think the Lions running backs are gonna bounce back, and I think that it'll be a very interesting scenario. It's gonna be very telling how the Ravens run game performs against the Vikings. So that's what we've got there. Monday Night Football this week: Josh Jacobs and the Packers versus the Eagles. This is gonna be a fun one. Another fun one. 2 heavy hitters, 2 guys from the same draft era too, Josh Jacobs and Saquon, who have kind of had longer careers at the running back position, because you got to think many running backs. I mean, if you look at a majority of the running backs, we've got CMC, that are most of the running backs. They don't last long. over 27, I think we've got like CMC, Henry, Jacobs, Saquon, maybe Cook. But other than that, it's hard to maintain your ability as a long-term running back. And I mean, James Conner came off a great year as a kind of resurged a little bit in that Cardinals offense, gets a 2-year deal, and then boom, out for the season. So that's the thing about dynasty running backs, is very volatile when you get up there in age, and the value can change at any moment. And that's one thing I thought was really interesting when I was looking at this post in the Dynasty Fantasy Football Reddit community. So Chuba Hubbard is a real-time example of how challenging running back value can be in fantasy. Incredible. Like, this is a great post, because I mean, last year Chuba Hubbard, he was the guy. Like, he was like the big surprise in the Dynasty fantasy community. But before that, people weren't really investing in him. They weren't like, oh, I need to go get him, because Jonathan Brooks was taken with first-round draft capital nearly by the Panthers, and he still really hasn't had a chance to suit up, and he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And then in came Chuba Hubbard, and he balled out, like, and we're like, oh, so this is going to be a committee from now on, and like Hubbard is probably the guy to own over Jonathan Brooks. And then in comes Rico Dowdle, who wasn't bad in Dallas, I would say, but he was never outstanding. And 1-year deal, and boom, like, Dowdle balls out. Multiple 200-yard games, and it's just interesting. I mean, like, yeah, Dowdle on a 1-year deal, and like contract insulation too. Like, you're not going to want to target a guy that's on a 1-year deal over a guy like Hubbard, who got an extension. So yeah, like, they took Brooks in the 2nd round, and I think it was like the Hubbard situation was like a temporary thing, you know? People were like, okay, he's going to be the guy until Brooks comes back. But Hubbard, yeah, 5.8 yards per carry. Big change from his 3.8. And he was hovering around, he was at 13 on keep trade cut. He was at the 13. That was his peak this offseason. And then he settled around 20. But still, like, I'm very interested in what he is at now, because I guarantee you it's not inside the top 20. So let's just go look at the Dynasty rankings. Let's see where our guy Hubbard is. I'm going to say, I didn't see it. I didn't get a chance to really look at it. I'm going to say he's 28 is my guess. 38. So this guy's fallen off a cliff, if you look at it. Yeah, 3-month change, 6-month change. Kind of peaked at, let's see, 45.70. So right here on September 19th. Let's see the 1 year. See where his peak is here. Yeah, 45.70. So September 19th. And he peaked at RB19 here, is what it's saying. In the offseason, did he get up? I don't know. Maybe that post was not that accurate. Or, well, 1 year timeline. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yes. He got up to the RB13 in January, which is just crazy. Yeah. So RB13, and then kind of levels off over the offseason, as you do, just with a little bit older running back who's had a few years and hasn't really broken out. But, like, he broke out, gets up to RB13, hovers around the 20 range. September 18th is like that final peak, and then he's all the way down to 38. And let's check Rico Dowdle, on the other hand. I'm guessing he's RB, I'm going to say 32. If Hubbard is 38, nope. He is the running back 21. Look at that. Yeah, so he was, at the same time when Chuba Hubbard was in that top 20 range, Rico Dowdle is hanging out around the 60s, 70s. We get into the season, he starts working his way up into the 50s, and then boom, top 30, up into the low 20s. So let's see who he's value equivalent with. Value adjacent running backs: Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, RJ Harvey. What? Like, what? Devontae Adams. And that just shows you how hard it is to grade running backs. And so what I would say, my recommendation, if you're going like if you're targeting running back, cheap and young. Like I feel like the zero RB strategy, although like if you can get a pairing, like somebody in my league right now has Derrick Henry and CMC, and he's almost unbeatable. But if you can get a pairing of guys, or like if you can get a group of guys that are young, high upside, I feel like it's just a safer investment to go for running or to go for wide receivers. And let's look again at the Dynasty rankings. How far do you have to go to see? Okay, so like you've got a running back here, but in the top 10. In the top 15, you've only got 3 running backs, and Taylor has had a resurgence this year too. But in the top, so you got to go to 21 to find Genty. So like in the top 15, you've got 3 running backs. So that just shows how valuable and how reliable the wide receiver position is. I mean, you've got 5 in the top 10, and then if you add in quarterbacks of wide receivers, then you got 2 in there. Yeah, it's just running backs. I mean, like the top running back is great to own, but for the price of the top running back, you could get 2 really good receivers, I think is kind of like the analogy that I'm going for. Because once you get down here, like you're still seeing guys like Jordan Addison, AJ Brown, Travis Hunter, Olave, who's been tearing it up recently too. Tearing it up. You're seeing them. And that also creates kind of that like market disparity almost. Like when you're trying to trade for a guy like, say, Kyren Williams, it's so hard to come to a deal because from a wide receiver standpoint, you're giving up a guy like T. Higgins, and it's like, oh, but he's like a wide receiver, like 2. He's sometimes even a flex play depending on your lineup. But Kyren Williams is like a lead back if you've got him. So that's kind of, I think, what's tough. And we could even talk about like the resurgence of the running back last year with like Derrick Henry and Saquon. And then this year we're seeing it too with, and even like throwing J.K. Dobbins, Chuba Hubbard, like guys that are just balling out, really increasing their value. But then just like that, it could be over. And we saw it with like Najee Harris too, just like new change of scenery. Maybe he would be a nice compliment to Amari and Hampton, but both of them are hurt. So, and Scadaboo too, like this one was just no fun. It's hard. It's hard to value running backs in Dynasty, and I think that that's why prioritizing and building around wide receivers is so much easier. So now, that took up a good time of discussion, but there's one other thing I really wanted to look at today in the Dynasty subreddit, which is this. I've looked at this before, but this is the daily trade and individual team help mega thread. So I thought we'd just kind of go through here for a few minutes and look at some of the stuff that we like. Who do I start? Monangai versus Giants, Parker Washington. I'd say Monangai. Knowing Ben Johnson, he's likely to roll with the hot hand, and Monangai balled out, almost went for like 200 rushing yards on 25 carries. And he's young too. 7th round rookie out of Rutgers. I really like Monangai. I'm excited to see what he does. I think the Bears would be better off if they would have invested one of those picks that they had in a running back, but instead they went Monangai, and to each their own. They also really worked on that O-line, so it's nice to see them producing on the run game. And Swift is kind of inconsistent, and he's getting up there in age as well. All right, 10-team Superflex. Give Odunze and a first, pick 3-4, and a second, get JSN. Okay. On face value, it's hard to give up a pick that might be pick 3, pick 4, right? But he's getting JSN, and here is his current wide receiver situation. Holy crap. JJ, Lamb, Nico, BTJ, Garrett Wilson, Odunze, AJ Brown. I would see if you could do it for AJ Brown, potentially, because that is still a high pick. And I'm also interested, guess I'd do it if you're a top contender. I mean, I'm also interested in what his running back room is looking like. I don't know why this user wouldn't go take this offer and try to get a top running back and burn Odunze, because if you're starting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then either of these two in a combination. That's 5 wide receivers, and then you've got 2 running backs. So you burn one, or no, say you keep both of them and then you burn one in this, and then you burn Odunze in this trade. You've still got a plethora of wide receivers here to start, and I'm guessing you're going to be starting a quarterback in that super flex spot. So that's what I would do. I'm interested in what his running back room is, but I'm guessing that this team is just killing it. If you've got that set up, you're probably pretty good. Okay, next one. 10-team Superflex, PPR, 4-point passing. Get Hurts, give Purdy, and 26 mid-late first. Dak, Purdy, Kyler Brissett. Yeah, that's fine. They think that's fine. If you're contending, that's fine. Get Chase, give Egbuka, and a late first. Jamar Chase. I mean, yeah. I'm assuming it's a 12-team. But yeah, if you're doing this, you do not have to think about wide receiver. Also, so if it's a late first, they're contending, so they're probably pretty good about the running back room. Saying yes, I think that's a good one too. All right, let's see the next one. Give Corum, Tez Johnson, receive Downs, and a fifth. Let's see. Corum. Does he have the stack? No. So I don't mind that. Because he's buying low on Downs but also okay, this is him. Kyron is his RB1 and he's contending with very solid receivers. So this guy wants Corum. I'd see if you can get anything more out of him. But yeah, like a buy low on Downs. I think Downs is a good buy low target right now, just considering the change of scenery and going to New York. Like, just I think he's going to get way more opportunities there than he would anywhere else. Than he would in other spots. Or no. That's A.D. Mitchell that went there. No, okay. Yeah, no, never mind. I got him mixed up. Yeah, do this. 100% do this. Yeah, never mind. What in the world? Yeah, do that. So yeah, I want to see a 12-team. Price check on Saquon. Okay, I am in a 12-team PPR, not super flex, or not TED and premium, but it is super flex. And here's what I would be willing to accept for Saquon. Let's go to the trade calculator. I'm just interested because I haven't had any offers for Saquon because I went out. That was like my splash acquire of the last offseason. But I'm interested in what would it take for me to accept a guy like Saquon. So let's see who's a guy that I'd like. Let's say like JJ McCarthy. Let's start it there. Let's start it with like a JJ McCarthy guy. So Saquon, JJ. No, that's not going to work. So we got to go McCarthy. It's leaning that way. Then I'd throw in a late second, maybe. I would maybe do this. But my running back room isn't that strong anyways, but still, like, I think this is more what you're looking at. Because if he said QJ, Quentin Johnston, and Golden, I don't think Golden... I mean, what would you rather have? 2 50-cent pieces or a $1 bill? I mean, that's what it comes down to. I always use the 4 quarters and $1 reference, but this is 2. This is 4 quarters. This is 2 dime pieces or 50-cent pieces for $1. I think just Saquon, his deep, his like big game ability. But I mean, these guys both are 24. So maybe if you're rebuilding, try to get like a early second out of it. Then maybe I'd do that. Give back like an early third. I'd do something like this. This is like my type of trade. If I were looking to sell Saquon and get 2 guys with potential, but Golden we've seen some inconsistencies with, and Quentin Johnston stock is really dropping with the Gadsden. So let's see what Gadsden would do here. I'm just interested. That even brings it up, I think. So this is kind of what I would target. But that's what we got. That was fun. That was fun. We're just kind of refreshing. We're working the brain. We're getting dialed in because Dynasty Fantasy Football is so much about analysis and thinking and comparing and downgrading. Tactical Downgrade, RBG, was a famous, awesome YouTuber that I used to watch for 2K. But yeah, it's all about downgrading at the right time, buying and selling. Dynasty Fantasy Football is a lot like stocks, and that's kind of where it's fun. You get to it's all the time. You're always having fun with it. So that's what we got for today. Let's have a fun week of football, and we'll catch you next Monday.